Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank this panel for the master class. And, you know, I forgot who said it, but that when you spend this much money in the middle of a pandemic and you have to push the money out very fast, the fraudsters just show up. They're just there. And I also appreciate the fact that you talked about, I mean, the IRS was also one of the agencies where people weren't at work. I mean, people were sending in mail to empty desks. But that being said, I just can't resist mentioning that the request for $80 million to add to the IRS, this is a perfect reason why we ought to do it, because the employee retention credit is not the only kind of fraud we have to deal with the IRS. We also have to deal with the fraud of people who know that their tax returns are so complicated, so complex that they can't be caught and won't be audited because we don't have those resources. Notwithstanding the fact, as you mentioned, you know, the technology. I mean, I have been on the phone with the IRS, you know, and able to cook an entire chicken dinner meal while I wait on the phone. I am happy to know that the IRS is, they've seen more than 2.5 million claims since the program was enacted, and that they have caught up with the backlog as of the week ending July 24th, and more than 99% of the cases are current, meaning that they're 3 months old or less. And they're doing 70,000 claims each week. I did meet some of the mills. They came right into my office this week, and I shared with them that I was unhappy, you know, that they were in operation. And so I think they left my office willingly. I just want to say, while I have the mic, that it is heartbreaking to know that we're still working to get people their money, many small businesses, and to think about how eager we were to claw back money in health care and money that children needed, and the rescissions that we made, and we did not even think twice about lending more time to those programs. So I'm happy to know that there are 500 ERC-trained examiners and auditors, and so we're looking forward to them catching up. I would like to yield time to my CPA's son, and that is child abuse, by the way, making you work. And then
I will tell stories. Let me just ask real quick questions, because I think as we're wrapping up. Raise your hand if you think more effective compliance by the IRS would lead to less fraud. Okay, just to make it easy, everyone raise their hand. Raise your hand, and I think we've heard this today. If we had greater capacity to process returns at the IRS, that would be a good thing. Everyone agrees, that's unanimity. And capacity is really a function of having people with training and technology tools, so that we should be investing in our people and our technology. Raise your hands if you think that's a good idea. So this is a setup. Does anyone want to raise your hands to say it's a good idea that we take money away from the IRS? I don't see any hands raised. I think the point being is we in the last Congress made sure that the IRS was getting the funds to begin the process of bringing on more people with the skills to do their work more efficiently and giving them the technology tools to do so. I hope that we can take from this hearing the lessons that it's time for us to work together, Republicans and Democrats, to make sure that the IRS is serving the American people, giving them the guidance and information they need to file timely, giving their advisors, like you in this panel, the information you need to give the advice to your clients to file timely, and having the technology in place that we can process those returns, get the refunds to our citizens, and make sure that we have the best, most efficient, most capable IRS possible. I yield back.
Mr. Schneider, if I may, after that setup, because it was brilliant, it really was good, is that, you know, I've spent 10 years in the federal government, in the executive branch, and nobody ever has enough resources, ever. And so you have to triage, and you have to prioritize. In this case, again, when the commissioner put a surge staffing on this, the numbers started going down. So our request today is keep that surge in place until that number's zero.
I will share that with the commissioner, because I